I'm sitting here in my living room. The fire's dying down quite a bit right now, but we just finished up a session online for Briar Rose and unpacking, unwinding that story and the deep and important teachings that it shares. You know, on the surface, the story is about something that as we unwind the story, we find out it's related to those things, but perhaps it's not saying what we think it is about those things. And so we got to spend 3 hours online with a lovely group of people and just unfurling, unwinding that story, unpacking each of the elements, understanding that the story is very intelligent and that it was pieced together in a loving, caring way, that the elements in the story aren't there by accident. So as we unpack each of those characters or elements, the animals, the sights, the sounds, the colors, all of it matters. And as we begin to unpack it within a cultural lens, there's so much there. And I marvel every time we do this at how much meaning a story can actually hold. Now, within my culture, you know, we have our stories. And in fact, our culture is built upon story and the oral tradition of storytelling. The entire culture is held in the creation story. Looking at stories from that lens, clearly not every story is that, but the stories that are told for hundreds of years or even thousands of years, we can begin to get the hint that there's something deeply important in those stories. And that's, I think, what we're getting to when we unpack the stories as a memory rather than, you know, metaphors for the psychology of being a human or, you know, for our individual interpretations of story, that there's a cultural layer to this and that layer matters. It's such a deep honor to sit and to use that lens to unpack the stories and share with people. Some of the group today had unpacked the story before and exclaimed that there was more this time again. Now, this is not even the deepest unfurling of the story. This 3-hour session is a minor condensation of a 4-hour version that we do live, where we get to unpack and unfurl and go through that spinning of the story. And as we've been doing this, my dear friend Tad and I, we found there's just no way for us to go as deep as we want with this story in order to get it all in. There's too much. The story holds too much. And so we decided to develop a 6-week version of this offering of spinning the story, unwinding it. And so we have that coming up in January, and we're really excited of all the incredible things that we unpack in this one story that relate directly to those original cultures in and around Europe. We're going to unpack so much more because there's so much more to unpack. And I mean, even in six weeks, we've already done out our outline and our schedule and our teaching notes and activities and all of that for the 6-week program. We still can't fit it all into that. There's so much there. It's such a rich opportunity to dig into ancestral knowledge and traditions as passed down throughout the years. So we're so blessed and honored to have opportunities to sit and share these things. And it's such a joyful thing to be able to invite people to come and explore the stories a little bit with us. So I wanted to do a quick follow-up to say thank you to everybody who attended. We had almost 60 people registered, which is incredible. And a good portion showed up and sat with us online. So it's such a blessing to see that there is desire to explore these stories and to dive into them in this way, so that they're not, you know, simply a fairy tale, but that they are an expression of culture and instructions of how we go about living in a good way. So thank you, and maybe we'll see you soon.